Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I can't talk enough about Tobsen and Eightball's OH6A mod for DCS and how good it is being a piece of freeware. So if you have the means to donate to them and you're a simmer that's been doing this for a long time and you can give them any kind of support, please go do it, because you understand and know from the early days of your sim career how important quality and good freeware is to the community and the hobby as a whole. So I'll put the link in the description. If you can, great. If not, let's do a little more talking about and understanding and exploring and what I think right now is one of the greatest pieces of flight sim freeware, up to date with what we currently have to work with. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is coming out tomorrow. I'm excited to see what that brings. But for now, I'm really enjoying the realistic stick and rudder feel, if you can say that for a helicopter. I know it's a pretty coined term in aviation, but obviously there's no stick and rudder in a helicopter. But one of the best hand-flying, connected-feeling helicopters known in the rotary wing world. The Hughes 369 series is kind of legendary, so let's explore this mod. This isn't all completely freeware. This is the Syria map from, I believe, Ugra Media. Anyways, I'm flying around Tel Aviv, just playing with it. But here you can tell I got a little cocky in what I thought I could do with this helicopter. It's nimble, but it's not a UFO. So let's take a look at that from the cockpit. I misjudged my power and quickly got myself into trouble. And tried to recover, but it's twitchy, it's fast, and it was like, oh, tree, oh, building, oh, tree, okay. Settle down, keep flying the aircraft. I love this helicopter. Anyways, carrying on. It's just such a wonderful handling machine, and the torque inputs and pedal control and how it feels to fly. And what you're doing with the controls simultaneously at each level, at each stage in the flight regime as you're switching through. It just does it so well compared to any other simulated flight model that I've flown. So it's most everything has its little idiosyncrasies in flight sim, but this one, I've never flown a real MD-500, so I don't have direct experience, but I'm trying to learn the maneuvering speeds for this aircraft. So I haven't gotten my auto rotations down yet and how it handles yet, so we'll see. Once I start practicing those things, how it really manages as far as real world numbers and how it should handle. But that's why I love flying when I find a good simulated helicopter, because it does what real ones do, so you don't have to think about it. It falls into your muscle memory of flying. So it's a beautiful thing. Anyways, talking on the Discord forums, it's kind of funny what you can get away with and what you can't. So I still have a hard time doing things I wouldn't do in real life, approaching the sim like a real helicopter. But I guess just doing this, maybe I was thinking I was a camera ship for shooting Deadly Encounters or Blue Thunder. Who knows? Dropping personnel off at the top of a building and scooting away, and just this helicopter, it did whatever I demanded of it. Obviously, you have to be a little bit more careful of it when you're at hot and high and max takeoff weight scenarios. You don't have infinite power, but under most conditions, with a full tank of gas and loaded moderately, it still just behaves. It just handles and has such a great direct input feel and flies so well. In the last video I talked a little bit about the force feedback not working correctly, but that's been sorted. I don't know if it was a settings issue on my end or just differences in software. And I know Mo's going through growing pains right now, but I have an AB9 and it's still working really well for me. But like, this is the ideal setup for simulating a helicopter. So I'm running. The only thing I'm missing is motion. If I had motion, then I think it would be pretty good, which would be awesome for doing like vertical reference. I've been trying to do that in X-Plane 12 with InterSim plug-in, and vertical reference is very, very difficult without some kind of motion, because your frame of reference of movement is gone. You have to have something. You have to have something to reference what's happening, or you're behind the aircraft, and it gets very, very difficult very quickly. Not to say you can't do it, but yeah, adding motion would be the next step up. I have a good setup. I'm running a Vario Aero, and I have a hybrid set of controls right now with Pro Flight Trainer Puma. Trying out different various products, but I've been running a Pro Flight Trainer since 2015, and they're awesome to work with, and it's like the ideal set of controls. Now that force feedback's starting to come back, I'm trying to get into that and sort out where I end up with. Who knows what other products I'm going to go for, but yeah, I think I'm going to be really interested in the FF Beast coming out, but it's the closest thing right now I have had in trying to put together a simulator and a helicopter at home to replicate my real-world experience, and it's so good. So yeah, between the force feedback with the AB9, running with the VR headset and the Vario Aero in DCS with this helicopter, it's great. So DCS scenery is, I wish it had a little bit more. I'd like to see more on the coastlines. You know, that's immersion braking, but at the same time, it's destructible. So it's I just started. I've never really been into weapons employment or deployment, however you want to look at it. I think I might start dabbling a little bit. This helicopter has me really intrigued to see what I can do with it. Anyways, I'm starting to get into that. It's like, am I new to DCS? Am I not new to DCS? I'm not new to DCS because I've been playing it since 2013 when the Huey came out. And I had the Huey at the very beginning, and life happens and you go whatever direction, but then I was able to get back in the cockpit in 2015 and earn my private in 2017, so not doing a whole lot of simming during those times, but then like while I was working on my private, working in X-Plane 12 with the Dreamcoil R22 and advancements in simming technology, I think I had a Rift S? Was it a CV1 or a Rift S? I can't remember, and doing that and just trying not to strain my eyes too much. And rerunning through lessons after I had gone and flown the real thing, just to kind of solidify my my muscle memory and my experience. And like it started getting good, and I kind of realized that my home simulator was better than the certified simulator that I actually logged time in. It was pretty cool. Now I think it's better. I think that the VR setups with the advancements in clarity and like the foveated rendering and the eye tracking, it's all is pretty cool. The Vario Aero was great. Not super happy with Vario. I mean, it was like they came to the consumer market after all this time of working the professional market and said, hey look, we can bring all this wonderfulness to the consumer market, and then they were like, nope, sorry, we're gonna dip, see ya. And I was like, dude, seriously. Anyways, I'm interested in the Pimax Crystal Light next. I'm gonna see if that's what I'm going to recommend my dad replace his Reverb G2 with anyways. God, this thing looks so good. So good. Anyway, just flying around with it, you can see like I'm just cruising along, not high speeds, and there's a little bit of right pedal in, and that's just so, feels so right. The pedals just feel so right in this helicopter. And then you will notice later I tried to get that view so you can kind of see the dynamics on approach. On approach, there's quite a bit more right pedal as you're descending and decelerating. So, and then the dynamic changes really quickly. It takes a while to get good at anticipating this helicopter just because it's so sensitive and it's so finely accurate. I don't want to say twitchy because it's not twitchy. It's responsive. So the rotor design, I mean, so it's a fully articulated rotor. If you're flying this or flying a Huey, they're so completely different and meant for different things. And we can talk about like the different things in ground effect. And one of the big ones, and with this one, and trying to understand, is the Coriolis effect, or the law of conservation of angular momentum. Figure skating spins, right? So in understanding how that works, so and gyroscopic effect with the rotor, it's fully articulated, so it has the freedom to hunt, right? The blades can lead, lag, and hinge and flap, and move where they need to in the disc plane in order to maintain stability. However, due to all the mechanical linkages, it doesn't want to move easily due to the gyroscopic effect, right? That stays in that spinning plane. So it's stable, but it's infinitely maneuverable because it is fully articulated and it's reactive to control input. So they've really replicated that so well with this mod, how it is stable but super responsive, and it's so nice to fly it. And then understanding ground effect as a factor of rotor diameter, because it is a fully articulated multi-rotor, so there's more blades, you get more lift per blade, you don't need as much of a rotor diameter, it's more compact. But your ground effect is really only going to occur at half of a rotor diameter. So if you're sitting at like a 33-foot rotor diameter right here, you've only got 15 feet of ground effect, and that's from the rotor, not your skids. So you're losing 8 feet. So you've only got like 7 feet of ground effect in this aircraft. It just doesn't have a lot of cushion due to the rotor design, and that's typical of this type. So just understanding those things will help you in how you approach flying it. And yeah, the Huey has a nice big pillowy cushiony ground effect with that huge two-bladed docile rotor. The Hughes 369 not so much. Anyways, this thing's great. I'll be quiet here and we can just do a shutdown. So if you do have the ability to, please go over to Tobsen and Eightball's Discord. Donate if you can. If you haven't, give this thing a go. If you're into helicopters at all, you have nothing to lose. It's free. You give it a shot. And then if you're impressed with it, donate. If you can. If you can't, you understand how it works. So check it out. This one's a good one. Thanks for watching. Be safe, be kind, and I'll see you in the next video.